Imagine for a moment that you already hold knowledge of the precise day you will depart this world. Not within your waking awareness, of course. That understanding remains veiled, and for very valid reasons. Yet your soul, the deepest essence of who you are, has been privy to the secret since before your earthly journey began. It consciously selected that specific day, that precise hour, that very instant it would gently loosen its grasp on this corporeal vessel and make its way back to its origin. This concept isn't aligned with notions of fixed destiny or inescapable fate. Instead, it points to a much deeper insight, one that Edgar Cayce brought to light through thousands of his profound readings. A revelation so astonishing that many find it difficult to embrace, even when confronted with compelling evidence. Your transition isn't merely an event that befalls you. Rather, it is something your soul meticulously plans and ultimately decides upon. And allow me to share something that will profoundly transform your perception of life itself. Individuals, without conscious awareness, begin to ready themselves for their exit months, and occasionally even years ahead of time. They subtly resolve lingering matters, unaware that these threads needed closure. They engage in discussions that, in hindsight, appear to be remarkably prescient. Individuals often offer meaningful parting gifts, seemingly guided by an inner knowing of what is approaching. Perhaps you've observed this phenomenon yourself. After a loved one's passing, reflecting reveals a strong sense that they possessed a certain foresight. Consider the sudden desire they had to visit everyone dear to them, the meticulous way they put their affairs in order, or that unusual serenity that settled over them. These were not mere coincidences. Instead, they represented the soul's preparation for a journey it had already put on its itinerary, a foundational plan drafted before its very birth. Edgar Cayce referred to this as the soul's blueprint, defining it as a comprehensive life plan formulated prior to its incarnation. Yet, contrary to a common understanding, this blueprint is not rigid or unyielding. It functions more like a global positioning system, offering a multitude of routes leading to the same ultimate destination. The soul itself pre-selects its starting point, the significant milestones along the way, and yes, even multiple potential junctures for its departure. Imagine it similar to booking air travel with numerous connecting options available. You might choose an earlier departure or a later one, a direct flight or one with scheduled layovers, but the final destination invariably stays the same. Your essence, collaborating with its spirit guides and mentors, pinpoints various junctures throughout your existence where a transition would be fitting. When your lessons reach completion, your ultimate goal is achieved, and your exit would serve the highest good. Such timings are far from arbitrary. Cayce observed these moments correspond with distinct cosmic alignments, the conclusion of karmic journeys, and critically, with the deep agreements your soul has formed with others. Your eventual departure, surprising as it might seem, frequently carries greater significance for the lessons it imparts to others than for its direct impact on you. Consider a mother who passes on at a young age. She may have entered an agreement to provide her offspring with the trial of early bereavement, not out of malice, but as an impulse for their profound spiritual growth. Or a man who reaches the age of 90. He might have consented to serve as the family's steadfast presence, allowing multiple generations to absorb particular wisdom. Each transition is meticulously scheduled to achieve its fullest spiritual resonance. This is the soul's intricate timeline. Yet, it is at this point that Cayce's understandings reveal their truly remarkable depth. He found that the soul's process of departure starts long before the physical body exhibits any outward signs. He termed this phenomenon the turning inward, a phase that commonly begins anywhere from 6 months to 2 years prior to a person's passing. Throughout this interval, the soul gently reclaims its vital energy from connections to the earthly realm. This occurs without conscious awareness. While the individual's personality may still be envisioning plans for years ahead, the energetic shift is already underway. One might compare it to a plant subtly drawing its life essence back into its core, preparing for the dormant season of winter. This explains why numerous individuals recount their dear ones seeming to diminish or grow distant before their death, even when no physical ailment was apparent. During slumber, the soul starts to visit the other side with increased regularity. Their dreams grow more intense and imbued with deeper significance. Departed family and friends begin to manifest more frequently, not merely as recollections, but as guides in a preparatory role, assisting the soul in recalling what lies ahead. Have you ever observed accounts of individuals speaking about encounters with deceased relatives in their last months of life? These are not instances of hallucination. Rather, they are participating in what could be described as preparatory gatherings for their imminent passage. The process of letting go unfolds in distinct stages. Initially, the soul releases its attachment to future plans. An individual who once meticulously arranged next year's holiday might suddenly find such prospects uninteresting. Following this, a detachment from possessions emerges. Belongings are given away, and material items that previously seemed vital no longer hold significance. Finally, an emotional tranquility descends. Old conflicts find resolution, and a gentle urge arises to speak words that were previously unspoken. These are moments of profound choice. Now, let us consider a concept that might seem surprising, but is vital for understanding. Cayce disclosed that in most instances, the soul is presented with multiple chances for departure and actively chooses which one to embrace. That sudden heart attack from which someone recovers. Their soul considered leaving, yet ultimately decided to remain. Or the accident someone miraculously walks away from. A doorway the soul opened, but then chose not to pass through. This explains why moments on the very edge of departure are so profoundly altering. The soul, quite literally, stood at the very threshold, observed what lay beyond, and then made a conscious decision to return. At times, a soul may linger due to incomplete tasks, a strong connection to loved ones, or simply because the timing wasn't ideal for all parties concerned. Yet, when the decision to depart is made, the process unfolds with astonishing precision. Cayce characterized this as a grand cosmic dance, where every element falls perfectly into place. This includes the physical fragility of the body, the surrounding life circumstances, the preparedness of those left behind, even if they perceive themselves as unready, and the very evolutionary imperatives of the soul itself. Consider for a moment the precise timing of departures you may have observed throughout your life. How frequently does an individual persevere just until a grandchild arrives, or until a child's wedding takes place, or to mend a rift with a distant family member? Or how often do individuals pass away shortly after their partner, almost as if they were patiently awaiting that moment? These significant choices are not orchestrated by the physical body. Instead, it is the soul at work, guided by an inherent knowledge and profound wisdom that lies beyond the grasp of the conscious mind. Within what is known as the 3-day window, Cayce observed a truly extraordinary phenomenon that manifests roughly 72 hours before a soul's preordained time of departure. He termed this phase the opening of the veil. In this specific time frame, the soul resides concurrently within 2 separate dimensions, meticulously concluding its arrangements across both planes. It is at this juncture that those enigmatic farewell encounters unfold. One might suddenly feel an undeniable urge to reach out to an old friend, someone not conversed with for many years. Then, just 3 days later, that friend departs. A daughter experiences an intense, profound desire to go see her mother, arriving precisely when she's needed most. A person may materialize in the dreams of many on a single night, and within mere days, they are gone. The soul, sensing its departure is imminent, sends forth gentle energetic pulses to those it needs to reach. Not every individual consciously perceives these subtle signals. Their ability to do so hinges on their personal sensitivity, their inherent openness, and the deep awareness of their own soul. Yet these signals are transmitted like a cosmic roll call, drawing forth energy and attention for the profound transition about to take place. During this 3-day period, the spirit preparing to depart also undergoes what Cayce referred to as the life preview, a distinct experience from the life review that occurs after one's passing. This unique preview offers the soul a profound opportunity to behold the complete and intricate design of its current existence, revealing how every single strand was woven together, allowing for a deep appreciation of the inherent perfection even within moments that seemed flawed. If you have ever been present with someone in their final 72 hours, you might have recognized these subtle signs, moments of profound clarity where an encompassing understanding seems to dawn, a serene smile appearing without any apparent external cause, or a look in their eyes that suggests they are gazing upon something exquisitely beautiful that remains unseen by you. They are, in essence, observing their life from the soul's elevated perspective, finally comprehending the deeper significance nestled within what once appeared to be mere disarray. Should this resonate with your own personal journey, if you have indeed observed these mysterious preparations or experienced these inexplicable intuitions, please feel encouraged to share your narrative in the comments below. These moments of synchronicity occur more often than most might perceive, and sharing them assists others in recognizing the deeper currents that guide our world. If you find resonance in these explorations, you might consider becoming a subscriber. Each week we delve into these deep enigmas, always striving to comprehend the fundamental mechanisms of life itself. What compels a soul to select a challenging departure? This leads us directly to one of the most complex elements within the Cayce readings. Why might a soul opt for a strenuous transition? Why endure an illness like cancer rather than a peaceful sleep? Why experience an abrupt accident instead of the gentle progression of old age? The response to this question fundamentally alters our perception of suffering. As interpreted by Cayce, Souls select demanding passings for various motives, none of which perfectly align with our earthly reasoning, yet each contributes to their spiritual progression. Firstly, a challenging transition can help settle karmic accounts, not as retribution, but as a vital experience fostering profound comprehension. A soul that has caused distress may choose to encounter it themselves, not because the cosmos seeks revenge, but because understanding both sides of a given situation offers profound wisdom. Secondly, challenging departures from life frequently act as profound instructors for those who remain. A young one passing due to illness could ignite medical discoveries, motivate philanthropic organizations, or stir a quest for spiritual meaning in countless individuals. The spirit accepts this specific role prior to its earthly arrival, comprehending that its own hardship will diminish the hardship of others. Thirdly, and this insight is truly deep, certain souls intentionally select challenging ends to their lives as a pathway for accelerated spiritual growth. The focused inner work needed to uphold tranquility, belief, and compassion amidst bodily pain can achieve results that might otherwise span multiple existences. It's akin to opting for the expert curriculum rather than the introductory phase. More demanding, certainly, yet guiding one towards swifter development, the process of consent. Now, here is a concept that has the potential to transform your understanding of every connection you hold in your existence. Cayce came to understand a significant truth. Souls do not depart without a form of permission. This consent doesn't originate from a divine entity or the vast universe, but rather from the very souls they hold the deepest connections with. This granting of permission, however, is not a conscious act. You aren't aware you're bestowing it, yet profound soul-level agreements are quietly established. This mechanism clarifies why, at times, a person facing death might cling to life despite enduring unimaginable suffering. They are often awaiting release from someone who is not yet ready to let go. And it explains why, on occasion, the very instant a family member eventually speaks the words, "It's okay, you can go," the individual passes away within a mere few hours. That spoken acceptance aligns with an intrinsic soul release, thus facilitating their final departure. This entire process of soul permission also sheds light on another intriguing phenomenon: why certain individuals find themselves unable to be present for a loved one's passing, despite their most earnest attempts to be there. Their own soul may have implicitly agreed to remain absent, understanding that their non-presence would ultimately allow for a gentler transition for the departing soul. Alternatively, one might ponder why some feel an intrinsic pull to arrive precisely at that moment, their very essence committed to bearing witness, to playing a role in this profound transition. Reflect for a moment on the farewells you have encountered. Who gathered close? Who was absent? Were certain unspoken understandings extended or perhaps held back? The recurring patterns, once you begin to observe them, often reveal themselves to be quite extraordinary. These are the signs of preparation. Cayce, in his observations, pinpointed particular indicators suggesting a soul's readiness for its intended journey. These are not physical ailments. Medical professionals may detect no irregularity. Instead, they are spiritual manifestations, whispers of the soul's gentle detachment from the earthly realm. The initial sign he described is often referred to as a distant gaze. The individual appears to perceive through objects rather than directly at them. Their perception seems split, observing this world and simultaneously another. Their focus wanders, not from a state of bewilderment, but from a broadening awareness as they sense more than what physical senses alone can grasp. Following this, vivid sorting dreams may emerge, where they meticulously arrange, gather belongings, and make ready for a significant voyage. Individuals may experience dreams featuring bustling airports, busy train terminals, or vessels setting sail. These are not mere symbolic visions, but rather genuine preparatory encounters where the spirit practices for its impending passage. Additionally, there is often a compelling desire, an unexpected impulse to encounter particular individuals, to revisit cherished locations, or to feel significant items. This signifies the soul bidding farewell, accumulating ultimate sensory recollections and finishing energetic ties. It is not a deliberate longing for the past, but rather an unconscious process of concluding. Subsequently, a phenomenon described as lightning occurs. This is not an intellectual illumination, but a flash like lightning, as though a heavy load has been removed. The individual appears rejuvenated, serene, and almost glowing. The spirit has already begun its partial departure, retaining just sufficient presence to sustain the physical form, yet liberated from the complete burden of its earthly embodiment. However, on occasion, the soul then decides to alter its course. Yet, an extraordinary aspect arises here. Spirits are capable of, and indeed often do, reconsider their intentions. Cayce chronicled many instances where all signs pointed to an immediate transition, but the soul ultimately opted to remain. An astonishing recovery, an unexpected turning point in health, a sudden shift toward wellness that utterly confounds medical professionals. What truly prompts a soul to reconsider its journey? Sometimes it is the profound affection and vital connection of family members, not their desperate clinging, but the genuine, deep-seated plea for additional time together. At other times, it is an unfinished purpose that the soul suddenly recalls or becomes aware of. And sometimes, it is simply that the soul, poised at a crucial juncture, recognizes it has further experiences to gather, more to contribute, and additional wisdom to acquire within its physical existence. These core soul-level decisions clarify why some individuals with very serious prognoses continue to live years beyond all predictions, while others with seemingly minor conditions depart unexpectedly. It is not about the resilience of the physical body, nor even the determined will of the individual personality. Instead, it concerns the soul's own evaluation of whether its intended work has reached completion. This is precisely why Cayce consistently highlighted the importance of healing extending to the soul, beyond merely mending the physical form. One can certainly repair the bodily vessel, but if the soul has made the choice to transition, it will inevitably find another way to do so. Should a soul instead opt to remain, it possesses the ability to overcome what seem like insurmountable physical conditions. Let us now consider the sacred agreement concerning a soul's exit. Each soul's departure forms part of a profound covenant, involving not only the soul making its transition, but also every individual within their sphere of life. Your presence within someone's existence during their final moments, or your absence, is also an integral component of this very pact. The manner in which they pass on, the specific timing, and even the location of their departure, All these elements were collectively agreed upon by every participating soul prior to any of your births. Yet, this does not imply that every single aspect is rigidly predetermined. These deep agreements inherently possess flexibility, incorporating provisions for various contingencies and allowing for multiple possible outcomes. Nevertheless, the fundamental blueprint, the essential lessons to be exchanged between individuals, is indeed established beforehand. This explains why certain farewells bring families closer together, while others, unfortunately, create deep rifts among them. It also clarifies why some endings inspire profound spiritual awakenings, whereas different ones might spark moments of intense spiritual crisis. The departure itself functions merely as a catalyst. Its ultimate aim resides in the profound transformation it fosters within those who continue their journey. Grasping this concept alters how one experiences sorrow. Certainly, the absence of their physical form is felt deeply. And yes, you grieve for the shared moments and the future that will now unfold differently. However, the realization that this specific timing, this particular way, and this whole journey were consciously chosen by your souls for both your spiritual development fundamentally shifts one's perspective. While it doesn't erase the ache, it imbues it with profound purpose, observing the indications. Thus, what are the ways to discern when a spirit, perhaps even your own, is getting ready to transition? Cayce offered distinct signals that anyone can learn to identify, not to evoke apprehension, but to facilitate thoughtful readiness and resolution. Look for a detachment from future endeavors, occurring when an individual ceases to formulate extended plans, not due to sadness or resignation, but simply a lack of engagement. Observe the redirection of their vital force. When an individual's focus moves from outward tasks to inner contemplation, note the concluding dialogues, exchanges that appear to settle long-standing matters without deliberate effort. But above all, attune yourself to what Cayce referred to as the alteration in frequency. An individual's complete energetic essence undergoes a shift, becoming more ethereal, less substantial, and clearer. It's akin to a gradual adjustment to an alternate vibrational plane, readying themselves to transmit from an entirely new point of origin. These indicators are not intended to foster apprehension regarding every alteration in conduct. In the majority of instances, such manifestations carry no profound meaning. However, when several signals converge, when your inner guidance awakens, when you sense that profound understanding beyond conscious thought, allow yourself to rely on it. Your deepest self perceives truths that your intellect might resist, embracing a consciousness aware of transition. Consider now the profound shift this awareness provides you, precisely at this moment, here and now. Understanding that your soul will select its moment of leaving, having already discerned potential pathways for its exit, and that the unfolding of events is guided by design rather than mere coincidence. In what way does this perspective reshape your existence? Primarily, it dispels any sense of victimhood concerning the act of passing on. You are not a powerless participant in some vast, arbitrary, universal play. The essence of your being crafts your life's narrative, extending even to its conclusion. This does not suggest your ego dictates your final moment, but rather that your higher self has already made this choice, and it is a decision serving your ultimate welfare. Secondly, it encourages you to embrace a mindset of completion. Since your conscious mind isn't privy to your date of departure, approach each day as potentially momentous, not with a sense of morbid apprehension, but with profound reverence. What remains unsaid? What forgiveness needs to be extended or received? What tasks require finishing? Thirdly, it invites you to acknowledge the sacred covenants you hold with other individuals. Every bond in your existence serves a specific purpose, fulfills a particular role, and offers an indispensable teaching. This applies even to the challenging connections, and especially to them. They are all elements of the soul, pacts you formed before your current incarnation. If this viewpoint sparks a shift within your perception, feel free to share your reflections. Often, merely recognizing these profound truths aids in their complete absorption. Please consider sharing this message with anyone who may be facing anxieties about their eventual departure or seeking deeper understanding of life's significance. Grasping the idea that the soul plays a part in selecting its exit can offer profound comfort and healing. Let us consider the practice of conscious preparation. Cayce put forward particular exercises designed to help you live with an ongoing recognition of your soul's decision about its ultimate transition. The aim is not to hasten this transition, but rather to embrace a richer existence by simply accepting its inevitable presence. These methods equip you not solely for the moment of passing, but primarily for inhabiting each day with increased awareness and a clearer sense of direction. With the dawn of each new day, greet your inner self, your soul, and offer gratitude for the gift of another span in this physical embodiment. Recognize that this very day has been specifically selected, and that your being here right now fulfills a unique design. Inquire of your soul what truly requires your focus, what agreements await completion, and what affection yearns to be shared. As evening descends, reflect upon your day as though it were your final one, not dwelling on remorse, but rather embracing it with profound thankfulness. What have you encountered? What knowledge have you gained? What contributions have you made? Should your spirit decide to move on this very evening, would you sense a feeling of wholeness? On a monthly basis, engage in what Cayce referred to as a departure dialogue with your inner self. If you were aware your essence was preparing to transition, what actions would be necessary for you to take? Who would require your forgiveness? What words would you feel compelled to utter at that moment? And here lies the vital point. Undertake those very actions. Do not postpone until the actual preparations for leaving commence. Instead, reside in a state of ongoing fulfillment, the deepest understanding regarding personal choice. As our shared exploration draws to a close for today, I wish to impart Cayce's most significant perspective concerning the spirit's decision to depart. This isn't truly about selecting the moment of physical passing. Rather, it concerns deciding when one's purpose has been accomplished. The spirit does not relinquish its form out of weariness, damage, or surrender. It departs because it has brought to fruition that which it set out to achieve. Occasionally, such an achievement is plainly evident. A life's endeavor brought to culmination, offspring nurtured, insights freely given. Yet frequently, it remains unseen by mortal perception. A solitary act of absolution that reconciled ages of karmic debt. A gentle expression of love that vibrated across realms, an intimate insight that liberated not merely one spirit, but a complete ancestral soul line. Your essence understands when its journey is fulfilled, and should that time arrive, be it in a day or many years in the future, the transition will not be a misfortune, but a culmination. Not leaving behind, but succeeding. Not cessation, but profound change. To exist as an everlasting presence. And so you're here, in this precise moment, absorbing these words, entirely vibrant, completely within the chosen voyage of your spirit. What does grasping your soul's decision for its exit offer you? Unfettered liberty. Release from the dread that passing on is accidental, devoid of meaning, or too soon. The capacity to have faith that your soul understands its precise purpose, even as your individual self might feel disoriented. The liberty to experience life to its fullest, understanding that your time of leaving is not a matter of fortune, but of finality and objective. Each day you spend here, you are present with a specific intention. Your spirit selected this specific day, this very instant, this particular breath you're taking. You're not merely passing the hours until your journey's end. Instead, you're honoring agreements, balancing karmic patterns, and extending a form of love uniquely possible within this earthly existence. And above all, cultivating a sense of tranquility. Find serenity regarding the exits you have observed, recognizing they were decisions made rather than impositions suffered. Embrace calm concerning your own inevitable departure, trusting that your essence will select the ideal time. Discover inner quietude with the grand universal rhythm of beginnings and endings, perceiving it not as arbitrary disorder, but as a deliberate evolving design, the choice ever present. Now, as we draw to a close, I wish to share one final thought. Your spirit has not solely determined the timing of its departure. It is at this very moment making the decision to remain. Each dawn you awaken, this signifies your soul's selection of another day within this material realm. There is a purpose awaiting you here, something to grasp, to mend, to finish, to impart. Acknowledge this sacred choice. Do not squander it in apprehension over its conclusion. Embrace it fully. Each day your spirit elects to remain brings forth purpose, significance, and potential. Your presence here is no mere coincidence. You are present by conscious decision, a decision made by your innermost self. This deliberate choice is reaffirmed each and every day until your destined time of departure unfolds. This evening, prior to drifting into slumber, gently rest your hand upon your chest and sense its steady pulse. That very rhythm, that is the tangible expression of your soul's decision to persevere. Express gratitude to it for its continued presence. Inquire of it what the coming day requires of your being. Heed its inherent understanding. And bear in mind, the moment your soul opts to transition has already been inscribed upon an unseen calendar, determined through counsel with forgotten mentors, for aims that benefit not only yourself, but the entirety of creation. Until that specific time arrives, there is labor awaiting your hands, affection to impart, and personal evolution to undergo. If you haven't yet, consider becoming a subscriber. Kindly share these words with an individual who could benefit from hearing them. Perhaps someone apprehensive about mortality, someone mourning a profound absence, or someone pondering the essence of existence. Become a part of our fellowship of explorers who delve into these deep revelations collectively. The moment your spirit decides to depart is inevitable. This is a certainty. Yet for now, for this very day, your inner self has opted to remain. And this selection, this wonderfully deliberate, hallowed decision, holds ultimate importance. Let your existence flow from this awareness. Your affections spring from this reality. And have faith, always have faith, that your spirit understands its path perfectly. Until our next encounter, bear in mind, you are not diminishing, you are fulfilling. And the distinction between these two viewpoints fundamentally alters everything. The resolution has been settled. The voyage progresses, and your innermost being recognizes the route back to its origin. Heat, heat,